Hello and welcome to the final stage of the Federated Auto Parts 400 at Richmond Raceway in NASCAR. Now this one is interesting, and I'm sure some people got pretty upset with this one. You have to catch 4,000 units of drafting while not allowing anyone to draft off you for more than 10 seconds. That is tricky, but this is a huge part of real life racing where you're drafting off someone but you don't want anyone drafting off you. And guys end up watching their mirrors a lot. So I like it because it is real racing. You know, this is it. So you've got to pay attention. Like one, you've got to know where the bots are going to drive. Okay, they normally want to drive on the outside, right? Now once in a while in traffic, they're all over the track like this. So you have to pay attention to that. Like this section here, if I wanted to stop someone from drafting me, I need to go low. And then no one will draft me if I go really low down like this. What I found is get your drafting in as fast as possible. So I'm almost done. And that's what I did. Get all my drafting in as soon as possible. And then I can manage these guys who are trying to draft off of me. So there, easy for me to go down here and to catch draft. Very unlikely that there's someone behind me. And there you go. I've got all my drafting in. Now all I have to do is not let anyone really draft off of me. But I've got a lot to spare, so I can afford to let someone push me a bit. Catch a draft off him. The interesting thing about Richmond is if you take the low inside line on the curved section of the D of this track, it just hurts your entrance into the corner way too much. So it's a very interesting track. I like it. All right, so that's it. That's as good as I could get in this race. Not very long, so it's be very difficult to win that race, although entirely possible, but very, very, very difficult. And that's it. This one is tricky. You've got to tailgate under 12th for a while, but then finish 11th, and that really messed me up for a bit. I actually failed this event because I did it wrong. So it's really obvious who you're supposed to get up to. Like, you've got to stay behind that position for 40 full seconds. Now, you don't have to stay in the draft. You just have to stay within a certain distance. And so that's easy, actually. And then you can't win this race. Absolutely forbidden. It is forbidden to win this race. I hate that, but that's okay. In real race, sometimes you have targets where you say, you know, we're only going to push up to this position right now. Sometimes that's you don't want to push the tires too much, or it's a fuel strategy, so on and so on. So now there's this massive gap, and you'll see very soon my timer will start. Let's see here. There you go. It already started, and I'm really far back. Definitely not close enough to catch the draft even. So that gives you an indication. Now, you see the car in front of Elliott here? That's the one I have to get in front of. So my mistake was I would stay behind Elliott like this, and then overtake him and just stay there and finish the race. And waste of time. So that's not going to work. Don't hit Elliott a lot, because he'll slow down. That's the problem with bump drafting, is sometimes it just makes everything slower. So I'm trying to not hit him a lot, but here we're getting really close to the amount of time I have to spend behind this guy. Behind the champion Chase Elliott. And there, nice clean pass. Well, okay, I think I nicked him a little bit, but I didn't take him out. I didn't even bump him. So get in front of Custer here, Cole Custer. And coast. Have another lap to go yet, and I'm not allowed to do anything more. And thankfully, Custer doesn't get right on your bumper, so you don't have to worry about really defending your position. Here I'm pushing Boyer a little bit, but I really can't afford to do very much. I don't want to get him all loose and have him wreck. I've done that. Or I get a guy all loose and he wrecks, and then I can't pass him, and then the guy behind me passes me, and I lose the stage because of tomfoolery. So I've minimized my tomfoolery for today. There we go. Not a difficult stage when you actually read the description properly, which is what I failed to do. Oh well, I did eventually get it done. Now, get up to position 9 while doing a bunch of drafting. Oh, this one is frustrating. Now, you don't have to get behind and in front done at the exact same time, but you do have to get 1,000 meters of continuous drafting. See that? Didn't. I broke draft. Broke draft. Broke draft. And some of that is because I'm bump drafting him. And I thought, oh, I'm sick of this. You can get it in right away. But I decided I'm tired of him. I want a faster bot. I've already got 5.3 of the tailing. 5.3 seconds of the tailing drafting in, or getting the guy to push you. But I've got a lot more to get in. It's not as bad as that stage where we had 1,250 units. So obviously this is easier than that. Like, I might be able to do it even here. No. I was pushing him too much. Well, let's give this another try, because this is a nice section to do this in. Gotta get up on that wall. Come on, get up there. And then get out of the throttle early. Oh, come on. Gets so frustrating. And if you bump him, he's just all over the track like that. So you can't bump him. Oh, it's getting frustrating. Anyhow, eventually you get it done. There we go. I think this is it. Ah, that scared me as I'm hitting the wall. You got to be so close to that wall. Okay, now, do I have time to win this race? I think I do. It's easier to get people to push you when you find a lot of traffic. So let's go see if we can find a gaggle of traffic. Oh, there's a gaggle of traffic. Then it'll be easy to find someone to push me. Oh, look, I can do a nice pass on myself. I am beside myself with this race. Haha, LOL. Alright, lots of guys here, including the guys I'm looking to pass so I can win. 2 more laps? Yes. Keselowski, or Keselowski, depends how you say it. And where is he? There's Hamlin. Well, that's interesting. Hamlin's often first, so who's first today? Oh, Kyle Busch. Or, yes, there we go. And I've got all my requirements in. So I've got 1 tame lap to go. Oops, get tangled up with that guy. Goodbye. Oh boy, that was getting really, really tangled up. So you don't necessarily want to do a whole bunch of that, playing around, but I kind of do. Oh my goodness, that was a little bit violent. Again, I had to do all of this entire event over again, and I'm a little bit frustrated, so I'm taking it out on the cars. I forgot to have my screen recorder on for stage 4 or 5, and I forgot to have cloud saves done, so I had to erase everything and start over. Just so I can get you guys these videos, because I like to do that. There we go. So, not a difficult race once you get those initial requirements in. Yikes. Okay, so again, I'm not finding fuel to be an issue on any of these fueling stages. I don't know about you. Finish at least 9th without running out of fuel. Again, I think that's an awful lot of fuel, but get some drafting in and coast some corners a little bit, and it's really not that difficult. Now that's a very high entrance into the corner, and boy, my throttle was not very good there. So I gave up a little bit, but I got some nice drafting in on Harvick. Do a classic overtake here, get some, oh, okay. That was a lot less than a classic overtake. A classic pounding into the wall, and then a classic pit maneuver by Harvick on me. Wow, this isn't a very good start. I'm not very impressed with myself, haha. Let's try this again. Okay, now I should give myself a nice draft. Oh, that was my fault. Cruising. 8 more laps to go yet. Wow, well, including this one. But still, looking at the fuel consumption, well, maybe I better coast a little bit. Don't want to run out. But I don't know. I never found it a problem when I was doing these races. Never found myself running out of fuel. And a big empty track in front of me. That's not what I like at Richmond. But you know, just around the corner I should see traffic. Let's see here. Not much. Well, I gotta go find some then. Go up high. So here's where we go. Nice powering through. Oh, I'm gonna have to get out a bit. Oh, there we go. He gave me the lane. Isn't that nice of him? And there's the traffic I've been looking for. And Truex Jr. and who else do we have to pass? Maybe Kyle Busch and Hamlin again? let's just see here. Yep, you get an awful lot of cars you can draft off of. Some of them are quite slow. Yep, there's Hamlin again. Oh, isn't that fun? Power through this stuff. I love this. Threading the needle, finding a way through traffic. It's kind of fun. Let's go 4 wide, 5 wide. Oh my goodness, you don't do that at Richmond. That's fun though. And yes, it is Kyle Busch this time in the lead. Well, I'm glad they switch it up, that it's not always the same car in the lead, because that gets kind of boring. But there you get a huge run, and there's just nothing the competition can do about it. When you get a huge run, it means you were on the throttle before they were. All they can do is try to block you. And if you've got a big enough run, that's going to be a mistake on their part, because you can just drive them off into the corner. You don't actually have to hit someone to ruin their corner. You just have to get close enough on their bumper, and then you can push them with the air. And that's what happens in real life racing. You push a person too deep into their braking point, then they have to be on the brakes too long, and it's easy to overtake them that way. Oftentimes it does involve a little bit of contact, but rubbing is racing. Now, still have quite a lot of fuel left, honestly. Like, let's just see here, let's push it. So about 1.9 and change at the beginning of that lap, and I hit the wall. Paying too much attention to my fuel. But still, really not an issue. And I wasn't trying to do much fuel saving. Like here, I thought, well, let's see if I can waste more fuel by drifting. Still have quite a lot left. Let's do more drifting. Along the wall. Oh, still didn't get that figure 8 in. Oh well. Maybe I just won't be able to do that through this series. And that's okay. You can't really do donuts at Richmond, which I wish I could. Okay, final race. And they start us pretty far up in the field. I honestly wouldn't have minded starting in last place in this race, although not with just 10 laps. But you know, I'm already in 7th, and so not very hard to win this race. Especially since you know you're going to be getting into traffic in 3 or 4 laps. You're going to see that the tail end of the field, which then makes it easier. So here you see, following that black ridge, braking at about where that sign is on the right, the black banner, and then, oh, I'm going to have to get out here a bit. Yeah, just too much. And then the wall juts out a tiny bit, and there's a banner, and that's my other braking point. Power out, get a nice overtake here, and oh, that felt like I was going to hit the wall. It takes a while. You gotta trust yourself after a bit. And I don't want to be doing that right now. Or that. Boy, you get a corner wrong at Richmond and it's pretty hard to save it. You really have to just give it up if you get it wrong instead of trying to power through it. Because you can't afford to be hitting walls too much. I mean, still, the lead's right there. This is not a problem at all. And in a bit here, I'll get into my race earnings. I like to show everything I've made, so I've got to tally all that up. And then I'll share with you everything that I made. So not just the rewards for finishing the event, but what I actually made in M dollars and in fame. So you get a fuller picture of what this series would pay. Now, of course, you're not going to get all that unless you do exactly what I did. You know what? I'm going to show you all those numbers now. So this is including, the numbers you're seeing are including the earnings that I will be getting at the end of this race. So I've already checked that and included that. So there you go. To get these numbers, you would have to do exactly what I did, finishing in all the positions I did. And yeah, there you go. And here we are, lovely traffic. That's what I love about Richmond, is there's just so much traffic to contend with. And if you like seeing series like this, I ask you to please press like, please subscribe, helps me out. And if you've already done that, then thank you so much for your support. Helps me to keep this stuff going. And yeah, you know, I don't know how much of a lead I can get. These guys, they do strange stuff. Like, I would not have expected him to go down at that point of the corner. There was no one for him to be overtaking. So some of the reasoning of these back bots is just silly. There we go, 4 wide again at Richmond. It's just such a bad thing to do. But kind of fun. So if you're at the end here, hopefully you're getting a good sense of Richmond. Again, I find Tilt B no assists is the best thing for me. I did try using my old setup of steering assist high, and I found it did not help me at all. It actually made it worse for me. So I guess I got a lot more used to no assist driving. I probably haven't raced this track very much since, well, I don't know, since the last NASCAR event, and those cars were a lot different. But yeah, we had one batch of these NASCARs, because these have been around since 2015, and then they started doing temporary content releases of these. So there we go. This season the cars are a little more grippy than they were in one of the seasons. That takes us to the end of this whole thing. Oh yes, Facebook made me change my name. Apparently they didn't like the amount of capital letters I had and how I spelt it, so oh well. There's my rewards. I'm definitely going to pick the car I drove because I like it. Then you get the maxed out tuning setup, and that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found some beneficial and at least entertaining tips.